Welcome to another segment, another episode of Not Your Typical Booty Scratchers at the lovely Gem House Studios with my dog Peter. What's good,
What's
Brody?
going on with you, bro?
How's everything been, man? How's life?
Life is good. Life is good. No complaints. The sun is out. I think I'm a creature of the sun. So whenever the sun is out, my mood is a lot better. Um, we had the snowstorms that kind of fucked
Man,
shit up for a little bit.
man.
So you drive, so I know your shit was probably fucked up.
Yo, I've been bragging to everybody because like last July I grabbed a new whip and that joint got snow mode. So I
did
just been
see that
chilling,
car.
bro. I just been chilling, dog. I instantly just throw that bitch in snow mode and I'm Gucci. So
Like privilege, this boy privilege. Crazy.
hey, but on the adverse, I've been having to walk my dog in these 6 feet of snow. So yeah, that's been some hell.
You ever got snow boots?
Man, she hates the snow boots. She be biting them off before we even get outside. But I did shout out to that new dog store in Hyde Park because they got like this wax that I just throw on the bottom of my dog's paws, and it lasts for like 20 minutes. You good for the snow, salt, all of that. So yeah, check them out right there on 53rd, not 53rd, but Hyde Park Boulevard. You know they got it all. But
Got you.
anyways, what else been going on with you, man?
Man, honestly, this week I kind of realized that I kind of get burnt out from work. And I realized I really don't have a lot of extracurriculars outside of going out that kind of tune into me.
Yeah.
So this week I've been trying to figure out ways to kind of, relax. And so something I want to do, something I just figured out, if I could get a haircut every 2 weeks, bro, I'm going to get a massage every 2 weeks. I actually just got one yesterday, bro, for an hour 15.
That's amazing.
It's great, bro. It's great. And I encourage you, like, if you got the bread and you can afford it, it's a bunch of massage parlors throughout the city. Probably run you anywhere from like $80 to $100 for an hour. Get a massage. Like, that should change your whole mood. I feel like since we were working from home, you accumulate a lot of tension throughout the day and throughout the week. That shit becomes part of your body. So you tense up. Like, I know my neck was fucked up, my shoulders fucked up, my hip was fucked up. And I just had the lady, I circled every part of my body. I'm like, yo, focus on this if you can. You know what I'm saying? Put a lot of pressure on this point. And honestly, I feel a lot better, bro. So
Ready to tackle this week, huh?
feel me? So for me, I think it's just to kind of bring everything full circle. I think for me, it's just trying to figure out how I can better myself outside of just going out to like eat and drink and shit. More like personal growth, I guess, or relaxation shit. So what about you, bro? How you been holding up?
On that note, like just to talk about like focusing on like personal growth, trying to find ways to relax, something that's really helped me, like aside from, trying to find massages and stuff, is I have this app called Calm.
I got that too.
Shout
Shout out to Bron. Bron, that commercial put me on. Yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
Amex because they gave me a free year of that joint.
Yeah,
So
I got a free year of that shit too, bro.
but like just taking time throughout the day to, listen to some of like the soothing talks, just reaffirm, like I am okay. I can tackle the day without any hesitation or any problems
sir.
has really helped me a lot. Before I had Calm, I used to use Headspace, but forget Headspace. Calm is the shit. They have different activities and exercises to really help.
They play that rain noise when you sleep.
Dog,
Y'all be
do
knocked
I?
out, boy.
Do I? Just throw in the little AirPods real quick and pass
Knocked
out,
out, bro.
Yeah. So I mean that's been helping me. I think overall, I just been trying to stay in a positive space.
Same.
Given the fact that there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we do see upside to this virus, but we still have social issues. We still have our daily stresses. It can get overwhelming. And I know myself, like I battle anxiety a lot. So it's just about being able to step back and focus on what I can control. But aside from that, like you said, we got some great weather these last couple days here. I'm definitely somebody who vibes off the weather, so it's helped
bro.
me in my positive space. So, yeah, man, I've been good. Excited that we still going with this. We got some good stuff to talk about.
Motherfuckers been blowing you up, asking you,
Man, where that next
same
episode
shit,
and
same
where
shit.
it's
We love
at.
y'all. We love y'all. We love you.
And we appreciate this motivation to keep doing this and keep going hard. So,
Yup.
with that being said, I think we can hop right into it. February is a month of Black History. Unfortunately, we only get 1 month to focus on it, but it's been a lot going
28
on.
days.
28 days, 29 if it's a leap year.
Yep.
A lot going on in the world. A lot of people trying to spread light and be aware. How convenient, given everything going on. But let's talk about Black History, man. What does that month mean to you?
Man, so this is our 45th year celebrating Black History Month. Originally started by Carter G. Woodson. And in doing research, I realized that the reason it's in February basically is because it coincides with, I believe, Abraham Lincoln's birthday and I want to say Dubois' birthday. So Carter G. Woodson basically chose that month because I guess at the time, with the Emancipation Proclamation and how basically they elevated Abraham Lincoln to like this savior, basically. He wanted to big up that whole movement and the freedom of slaves, even though we were kind of held back by things like Jim Crow and still kind of economic poverty. And I believe this year's theme is Black family representation and identity representation. What this month means to me.
Before we go into that, can let's hone in on like what that concept of Black family and identification like really means, because I think the idea of the Black household and the Black family has changed as time has changed.
Agreed.
So like, I want to hear your thoughts on it. And I can share a couple of my thoughts. Sorry to interrupt, but I can share a couple of my thoughts on that too.
Black family to me, I think with the kind of integration of different races, it's kind of now everything is a melting pot as opposed to like the 80s and 90s. Like everything was basically kind of like segregated. Like I know my neighborhood was like a hub for a lot of immigrants and a lot of Black people. You know what I'm saying? Now I go in the neighborhood and they got condos and stuff like that. So that sense of like Black family identity now is changing. You have like a bunch of interracial marriages happening, a lot of cultural blending as well. But I think the Black identity and Black family is kind of what ties us all together. So you get on Twitter, basically it's like Black Twitter, like because we all share basically the same experiences, whether you're African, you're Black. I think that's what kind of all binds us together. We all kind of share this mutual Black culture, whether it's in film, music, sports, and I think it's something that we have to keep going now that the world is kind of blending more, because we never want to kind of
erase,
or even lose who we are. Like again, like the world is a melting pot, so it's easy for kids growing up now to not be attached to what we came up on.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So with the TikToks and shit like that. So I think Black identity and and Black family is really important. Shout out to all the OGs that basically hold on to that, pass on knowledge to their kids, and what you think?
Man, I have a great like not segue but piggyback point off of that. Like I feel like back in the days, our not our, because my grandparents are in Africa, but I feel like grandparents and parents did a better job of sitting down with their kids and talking to them about their culture, their history, and things of that nature. And I kind of feel like nowadays that's being lost a bit.
Agreed. Hell yeah.
We don't have that leisure. Like families don't really have the time. They don't have the access, nor do they have the ability to actually sit down with their kids and let them know, like, hey, this is where you're from. Like, you're a king. You know what I'm saying? Like, share with them, stories about Rodney King and things of that. I don't feel like that stuff is happening anymore, and that's kind of why, as a community, like things have gotten way worse. And to piggyback off of what you're saying, not only that being one of the reasons, but our houses are integrating a lot more. It's a lot more multiracial and biracial households. So a lot of stuff is being lost in the mix. Parents nowadays are really going on the fly with a lot of stuff and kind of leaving it to their kids to do their own research. So to echo everything you said, the Black family is like one of the strongest components to like our life and like what makes us who we are to be able to walk outside and feel confident, and kind of feel like we've lost that and kind of need to get back to it. So it's interesting that that's the theme of this year, but it's necessary.
I agree with that, man, 100%. And I just think now, like, I remember even talking to my mom about Harold Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my mom and dad lived through a lot of shit that happened, but they never talked to me about it. Like,
Right.
Harold Washington, I remember this is probably like 2 weeks ago. I'm talking to my mom about Harold Washington, and her face lit up. She was like, "Man, I remember that time, when he died, how the city rallied and stuff like that." And it's like I had to ask her about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what we spoke about before is like, me being the son of immigrants, like I think their first instinct was survival.
Facts.
So they was just kind of like, let me take care of my kids. Let me make sure you go to school, blah, blah, blah. Like history was secondary. It's kind of like, you're in America now. The game has changed. Like we need to, fuck what they talking about everywhere else. Like I need to make sure you don't end up fucked up where you are now.
Right.
And I wish my dad would have schooled me more on shit like that. I wish my mom would, but I understand like the life of immigrant parent, like their work. Let me feed my children. Let me come home. Let me go back to work. My dad was a cab driver and shit like that. So like they really come from like survival type shit, So no fault to them, but I kind of wish I had more of an understanding. I kind of wish school kind of push that on us a lot more too.
Especially considering the fact that we spend 8 to 9 hours a day in school. Like our parents are leaving that responsibility to our teachers and to the education system to give us everything that they can't give us because they're trying to be out there and provide. But
I learned more about Catholicism than I did about Black history.
Exactly.
I know all the saints.
Yeah.
Fucking just basically like the history of Catholicism, the Crusades and shit like that. But when it comes to Black history, that shit, like we said, is 3 pages.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They shout out Martin. They shout out Malcolm.
Yep.
Jim Crow. And then after that, I think now with the 2000 history books, it's probably Obama in there now. And that's probably it. You know what I'm saying? But all the shit in between is lost. It's falling upon deaf ears. So something that you preach is kind of doing the research on your own.
Yeah.
And having the internet now.
You have to.
Just get out there, The research, everything is out there. Just got to put yourself forward.
Facts. So I guess back to our original question then.
Yes,
what does Black History Month mean to you?
Man, it's something LeBron said that I love. He said, I celebrate this shit every day, and I feel him. I love that we do have a month. That way it kind of gives, everyone else that's not Black, like, basically an alarm. Like, we exist. We're here. We're celebrated. We're some of the most intelligent, intuitive, innovative people on the planet. But I feel like we should live this shit every day. We push culture. We influence the hell out of music. We influence the hell out of fashion. We influence the hell out of sports. So I think just Black History Month is Black History Year. Not to sound corny, but it's like this is something that we do. We wake up in the morning and we have to exhibit Black excellence, Black history. So what does it mean to you, Brody?
I don't think I can say anything different than what you said. I think we unconsciously celebrate it every day.
Yep.
Just our ability to wake up every day and face this world as it is us making Black history.
That's powerful.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because waking up every day, the odds are already stacked against us.
As soon as you walk out that door.
You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, the fact that we was able to accomplish task, big or small, that's history in itself, because we just set up something for the next day, for the next 10 years, hopefully if we're doing everything the right way. So like you said, man, I'm happy that we have a month for it. But for me, like, it's every day, like we have to give credit to what we're watching on TV, to what we're seeing on social media, to the conversations that we're having in those meeting rooms, on a corporate level. Like, we probably won't be given the credit that we truly deserve, but everybody know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So
Agreed.
yeah, Black History Month is great to me, but this is an everyday thing, man.
Let me ask you this, kind of with Black History. I'm sure you've seen how Hove just closed his selling part of his stake in Ace of Spades. I think that's Black History. People do kind of feel some type of way of about billionaires in general. Basically, the idea is like, if you are a billionaire, then there's somebody suffering basically for you
Facts.
to be a billionaire. But I think, Hove doing business with Bernard Arnault, who's one of the wealthiest men in the world, like selling 50% of your stake in a company that's worth 500 million, like for a black man to do that, that's history to me. Like, regardless of what you say about billionaires and, black millionaires and things like that, I think that level of intelligence, that level of, will to be able to get yourself in that room. Shit, he probably didn't even have to get himself in that room. They probably came to him.
You
Like,
know,
I think that's something to be celebrated. And that's Black history. That's, man that started off in Marcy Projects, you know what I'm saying? And now you basically just up 500 mil.
you feel me?
That's insane, bro.
And
That
let
is insane.
and let's talk about the fact that he came out with Ace of Spades to shit on the heads of Cristal. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying? He popularized Cristal, rapping about it, and it became a celebratory drink for everybody in our community. But for the owner, of the drink to come out and say, I really don't like the fact that this community, this hip hop community, black folks are drinking my stuff. Hov is like, you know what? Forget you,
Do
dude.
our own shit.
I'm gonna do my own shit. And you see what he did with it, and now he's profiting 10 times more, 100 times more than what he originally did. Like that, like you said, bro, that's black excellence. That's showing the impact that we have on the culture to just change it just like that. All right, you not rocking with us? All right, next.
Do my own shit.
We need to do that with clothes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We got so many designers out here who are doing the damn thing, but we are so attached to a name. They don't care about us, but they just hiding. Cristal, thankfully, wasn't hiding. He was a Trump back in the day. He wasn't hiding his intentions. So we was able to make the right moves. So
Yo.
all of that's black excellence, man. And we just, what is it, at the tip right now. We just touching the surface and getting our feet wet. We gonna get to it for real. In our lifetime, I'm positive we gonna see something.
Shout out to Diddy too with Ciroc, and a bunch of other black entrepreneurs and
50.
musicians. 50, basically doing it their own way, kind of bringing their own capital into business. And something you said about black fashion, I joked that I shop at Zara.
Mm-hmm.
I just did some research on the company. The owner of Zara is a billionaire, a Spanish billionaire.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, there's so many dope black designers. I feel like I should invest more into that. So that's on me.
It's a start though. This joint fire. The
Appreciate you,
BBC.
bro.
that
Appreciate
joint
you,
fire.
Appreciate you. I just need to kind of do more research. I know you're super big into black fashion.
Black everything. My coffee came from a black coffee
Well,
shop.
for
You
no
feel me?
cream in
Sip,
this shit.
sip and savor. Black O. They on 43rd, 47th, 53rd. Holla at them.
I gotta check them out. I
Yeah,
gotta check them
the
out.
right way.
But yeah, that's what we have on Black History. And again, I think 28 days really doesn't do it justice. I think we should all put our foot forward. Celebrate your culture every day. Black. I believe even people in the from the islands, are Caribbean people, Africans. Like we're all one people to me. I feel like we should be a monolith, and if we're a monolith and we move together, nothing can stop us. So,
Period. I'm vibing with that, man.
yep,
Black History Month. Celebrate that joint every day, man.
gang.
On that note, Black History Month during the month of February, Judas and the Black Messiah was recently released.
Look, I can see the tension in your face, boy. Mad,
Man.
I'm mad too.
So, disclaimer: I haven't watched it in its entirety, but I do have a little bit of knowledge about the movie. The context of the movie, and I'll say that does not motivate me to go watch it. Not trying to spoil it for those of you who haven't watched it yet, but in my eyes, they're creating they're telling the story of a rat, a snitch, somebody who,
Ain't no way around it. That's true.
you know what I'm saying? Somebody who claimed he was doing something for the cause, but ended up hurting the cause and separating us. You know, if you want to think about it, took away one of our great leaders in Fred Hampton. I'm not even gonna give this guy the pleasure of saying his name. But but so like just from my stance, it's like I can't rock with that. You know, nah.
I really I really don't see. Well, I guess we could give like a short recap as to Fred Hampton and what the movie's based on. Fred Hampton, an activist from Chicago who was born in Maywood, basically joined or helped start the Black Panther Party in Chicago. First, he was part of the NAACP in Chicago. Then, as he spent time in there, he went to Oakland, came back, started the Black Panthers. Were looked at by the U.S. government as not a criminal organization, but a organization basically that can incite the people. And the U.S. government was kind of fearful as to the impact that would have, because Fred Hampton was galvanizing people. He was galvanizing gangs like the Black P. Stones. I think there was a gang called like the Young Lords, which is like a Puerto Rican gang that he was able to bring in. And I think the name of like the cohesive group was like the Rainbow Coalition or something of that nature. Excuse me for not getting that right. But basically, he was a man of change, and he was 21 at the time that he was murdered, which is, I don't know what you was doing at 21, but I definitely wasn't, galvanizing the people at 21, So to speak on the movie itself, first I want to big up.
That's a legend right there, Fred Hampton, man.
Real talk. I want to big up Lakeith. I want to big up Daniel Kaluuya. I think they did both amazing jobs in portraying their characters. And yeah, I'm not a fan of rats, bro. Like, especially of your own people, and just like snitching in general. Like, I just come from, a time where it's like, if you do some shit, you stay with the shit. You don't backdoor people.
Yep.
You don't, cape to save your own life. Like, basically, a lot of people that you're doing shit with are all trying to make it out of something that's holding them down. And once you snitch, you bring everybody down with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You just basically the crab in the fucking barrel shit. Like, you pulling everybody down. I'm not a fan of homie. I don't want to say his name either. He's a snitch.
Feel me?
And overall, the movie I enjoyed. I just hate that it was from the perspective of said person. So
yeah, and I mean, just to speak to a bigger purpose or a bigger cause, like, correct me if I'm wrong, or actually inform me.
Yep.
Was this, who produced this movie? Like, who wrote it?
That is a question that I don't have the answer for off the top of my head.
I don't either, but to me, it just speaks to, I think we talked about it in our first podcast, just like this narrative that the media wants to push out about our culture and our people and how they essentially,
cool, kinda.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see things like Tekashi and how like he snitched, got a whole bunch of people in trouble, and came out and is essentially like hasn't been touched, hasn't been harmed, still getting his money and doing all of that, and making it seem as if like that snitching aspect of stuff is what needs to be done to create change. And I kind of feel like them putting that narrative behind the Black Panthers and like making this a global movie for people to see is like, I get it, in order to solve a lot of the black on black crime that we do have going on, like we need more people to corroborate stories and talk.
Yep.
But I don't appreciate how this is essentially saying pin our leaders against each other, more or less, using that loosely in order to support a bigger cause. This Fred Hampton's movement, the Black Panther movement, could have been changed or adjusted in other ways, rather than having the FBI find an informant who they arrested for stealing some fucking ice cream or doing, a carjacking.
Breaking into a weak ass car, yeah.
And using him to have a 21-year-old dog he was 21 years old, bro.
And that's the part that hurts me the most. It's just kind of like once the narrative is once he actually started infiltrating the Black Panther Party, then he started being like, oh, I see the light, basically, like, oh,
Man.
Fred Hampton, and he's preaching power to the people, but the dude still went through it
Yeah.
the whole way. Like, it's sick to me, man. And to your point about them kind of pushing this narrative, I feel like the story being told from Homie's perspective takes away Fred Hampton's legacy completely. Like, there's so much of him we could have learned if it was based on his point of view, like his upbringing, what kind of pushed him to because I think once the movie starts, it's more so kind of the latter end of his life.
Facts.
Whereas they could have did a whole thing about, him in high school, what kind of pushed him to join the NAACP.
They won't do that.
Yeah, which is
they
some
scared.
Yeah, but it's like if it's black people that produced it, like, y'all could have done a better job, in my opinion.
1,000%.
That's a lot of history, bro. That's a lot of gems that, who knows who could have been in his ear at the time, too. What kind of OGs was in his ear kind of pushed him in the right direction. So I just think the perspective is whack. The movie was great, but I just think the point of view is trash. Like, don't give me no movies about no snitch niggas, bro. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
And it's all a form of oppression, bro. Like they want to control the narrative because they know if they speak to his entire story, and let's take this into a bigger picture.
Talk to me.
Aside from Fred Hampton, if they share the full stories of a lot of the black leaders that have come up in this world, they will empower us, the youth, and they're scared of that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like that will cause a revolution. That will and that revolution will have us realize our true dominance and our true effect on this world. And that, at the end of the day, like, I'm not being racist. I love my white friends. I love people to death. But we all know that white people control the dollar. And that's essentially all you control in this world. And the minute that we come together as a unit and can overtake that dollar, y'all don't really have much else to provide to this world. And they don't want to tell those stories because they know that,
something in your brain click and your ass would be like,
right.
Hold on, something, this shit ain't right. Like,
exactly, dog. And so it's just interesting. To your point, man, they need to do a better job. You said it in episode 1. We need to do a better job at telling black stories, telling the full story.
Facts. If we could do a Hidden Figures movie, we could do a movie about Fred Hampton and the Panthers. Like,
facts.
Like the movie, again, I feel like in some ways is still educational, but it's like we need the full story, not just motherfucker 10%. You give me 90% of a snitch who then went to commit suicide because he knew he was a hoe, and he, like, bro, like, I'm not like that ruined the movie for me so much. Like, it in the back of my mind watching this movie, bro, that's all I could think about. I'm just like, yo man snitched on you, bro. Like, and this is somebody that he was rocking with. You nigga cracking jokes with this nigga, like, oh, okay, you my guy. Just for you to spin the block and be like, okay, this is where this nigga stand at. And I think you guys educated me saying that, like, he basically gave him some type of, like, drug or some shit to inhibit him.
To sedate him.
Bro, what kind of sick, like, what would possess you to do that shit? Like, it just, to me, the way my brain works, like, I can't even sit and enjoy some shit in the back of my mind knowing that this nigga's a snitch. It's just kind of like, you see it coming. You know what I'm saying? You see it coming, and it's just a shame that at 21 years old, one of the most revolutionary figures at 21 years old was taken down. Like,
hey, man, there's a reason that when you set up rat traps, you got cheese and then you got the trap itself. The rat got to make a choice. Do I want to bite? If I bite, I'm committing suicide, just like Willie O'Neal. Sorry, I said his name, but folks, like, he made his choice, and unfortunately, he committed suicide because he bit the cheese. So
a car and some ice cream. Bro.
You feel me?
Like, I don't know if that's really the specifics as to why that got him so scared to snitch, but just. It's certain shit, bro. Yeah, it's certain shit, bro, like that just irk my soul and just, like, snitches, like if you part of some shit, stay with the shit. Don't cop please because now you jammed up. Like you knew what you signed up for, you knew what it was about, and then the last minute you get cold feet. Like I understand you
Nah,
might quit a team, you might, but bro, snitching to get somebody either arrested or killed, bro, some whole shit to me.
some very whole shit. And that is a great segue into my man's. My
Rainbow
man's.
hair.
Rainbow hair. Folks been going crazy. But before we get into him, that man Bobby Shmurda got
Salute the
released.
real. Thank you for doing that, bro.
You
I'm
feel me?
happy you just switched that, bro. Thank you.
You
Thank
feel
you.
me? They released the real Bobby Shmurda, the definition of a thoroughbred, standing by your guys, showing loyalty. And I think it was funny. They showed that one clip of the shorty trying to give him a drink at his welcome home party. He was like, "Nah, I'm
I
good."
got my own
You
shit.
feel me?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Man, how you feel about Bobby? I know you was rocking with Bobby back in the day.
Man, Bobby, man, he had a crazy run. And to think like Bobby's run really started in 2014. We're in 2020 now. For our viewers that don't know who Bobby Shmurda is, at the time, I want to say Bobby was in his early teens, from I believe Brooklyn. Bobby basically put out a string of hits, and as his success kind of grew, a lot of attention from the NYPD and the feds basically got on him and his crew. I don't really want to name drop, anything about
Right.
his crew, but basically, um, they got him arrested. His fellow rapper, Rowdy, was arrested and members of their crew. And basically, it boils down to I think they try to give Rowdy 12 and they try to give Bobby 4. And Bobby said, fuck that, I'll take 6 if Rowdy gets 6. And that's just some stand up shit. Like, he didn't switch up. He took more time from his homie. And Bobby, when he was locked up, was in it. Like, he was in prison fights and shit. He had
Mm-hmm.
somebody, his girl, bring him a shank and shit in
Mm-hmm.
jail. And they try to put some more time on top of that. But I guess through, behavior, and the when you actually do research on the case, like they really didn't have shit on him, like not
Nah.
like super hard evidence on him. So you did his time, him and his mans got out, and now they're primed up, like in the heels of, Fabio, Pop Smoke, and the whole drill scene in Brooklyn. Like this is their time.
Yep.
This is their time. Like this. I feel like the timing of this is fucking perfect. Like this is their time to really, take a hold
So
of something.
woo in
You
this
feel
joint.
me? Yeah, take a hold of that shit, bro. Take a hold of that and really take off with it. So, how you feel about the whole Bobby? How do you feel about Bobby and Rowdy and the whole Brooklyn wave and the case
Man,
itself?
I'm happy. To be honest, like, yeah, we all know drill music started in Chicago, but what Bobby was able to do on the East Coast and kind of turn the drill into a vibe, into a,
From the UK to
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
That's a fact, bro.
you,
That's a
you
fact.
feel me?
That is a
Like
fact.
he started what we now see coming out of the East Coast and the Brooklyn and
The sauce in it.
just,
And
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm
yep.
happy, like you said, bro. This is perfect time for him if he does decide to come back out with some music, because other artists these days, the first day they out, they dropping some. He ain't do that
Yeah,
yet.
that's true.
So
Gucci was the last one I feel like that really. Did somebody else do a first day?
Kodak,
Yeah, Kodak shit was hard
right?
too. Kodak, man, I
Kodak,
fuck with Kodak.
all
I
my
fuck
life.
with
Shout out to
Kodak.
Kodak. They just
Shout out to
freed that
Yak,
boy
bro.
too.
Yeah, he tough. He tough.
Even though he got pardoned because he supported Trump, we gonna leave that where it's at.
Shout out to his lawyers, bro.
You feel me? But I'm happy, man, that he's back and he showed the right way that things were supposed to be done. And at the end of the day, he knew the life that he chose, and he chose to stick by that. Whereas that other goofy guy, that other goofy dude, the colorful hair rainbow dude who got out, went in for a facade,
Facts.
was just trying to get his money and thought that he could portray a lifestyle that he really wasn't about. his own father came out and said folks wasn't like that. So it's interesting to see like how everybody has flocked towards that guy, and like we don't understand that. Yeah, we may not support what he's doing, but the fact that we're watching all of his views, we're streaming his music to hear like
Nigga
what
got a
wild
doc.
stuff.
You got a doc on Hulu, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was beyond me. Like I listened to like a year ago when he had a series on Spotify. I listened to it just to hear about like what the case was and how that was working, but I refused to like watch that documentary about him and try and listen to his side of the story because he's just foul.
Yeah, that's some backdoor shit. Like,
You feel me? And being from Chicago, to see the disrespect that he continuously like just does to the guys here in Chicago, dog, who is often people for way less. You know what I'm saying? Like they bodying people like him for way less.
that's
And
a fact.
saying things like rest in piss and yo homie is woo. I'm like, gee,
Get your ass smoked.
man, turn you into a wood.
real,
You know what I'm saying? So it's just sad to see like the two opposite ends of it. Like Bobby was never in this for the money. He was in this for his people. You know, like he understood that what he was doing in the streets was to put food on the table for his moms and his people. He understood that shit. I found a way out through music. So let me do this music shit. This still my real life, but I'm gonna do this music shit to help amplify the bucks that I could provide for my family.
Oh my guys, right.
Whereas Tekashi was just all about the bucks from the beginning to the end. Dude, rainbow hair, got 69 tatted all over his body. You freak boy, like that. That shit weird. Like
Shit is disgusting, man. And I read a little bit about both of them. I'm kind of the same way as you. If I see any Tekashi shit on my timeline, bro, I don't even less than a second, bro. I'm scrolling past it. I actually want to mute that shit on my Twitter,
on my
because that shit is disgusting to me. But I know that based on their history, I think Tekashi's from Flatbush, and I want to say Bobby's from Flatbush.
I think Bobby from Flatbush for a fact.
Okay, so I did some research on it, bro. Both of them kind of came up in kind of similar lifestyles. Like Tekashi's stepfather was murdered. Bobby's dad got life in prison for attempted murder. You know, so basically that male figure wasn't there. They kind of both had to figure it out. But it's like Bobby, like you said, like when he jumped into it, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He knew what he was doing. And he had, to me, at the end of the day, he had respect for his guys, and his guys had respect for him.
Yep.
In the Tekashi scenario, there was no mutual respect. It was like a means to an end. Like, okay, we gonna use this nigga. We know he's gonna get all these views. He's gonna get booked for all these shows. And then the guys that he got jammed up, you know, was kind of adding fuel to the fire, because this dude is out here dissing people. Like,
Man.
I mentioned earlier, bro, with him going to Nipsey's mural, bro, that shit made me fucking sick. And I just can't get with that. And I just feel like even despite their upbringing and circumstances, like Bobby took the correct route. If I was Tekashi, bro, like, and I'll never wish I was Tekashi, but you know what I'm saying? Like, once you snitch on them guys, bro, you quiet. Don't try to put out music.
You supposed to be in Witsec.
Yeah, bro, this nigga trying to buy chains and do remixes and paying niggas to interview him and shit like that, which is all corny to me. So yeah, I just, you know, we come from a city, bro, like, I personally don't know any snitches, like, personally.
Period.
And I don't know anybody that affiliates with snitches, or, you know, those are the type of guys that hang around. Granted, snitches all over the place, but I just feel like if you do something, just stand by it at the end of the day. Like,
You gotta be man enough.
yeah, bro, you signed up for it. Like, your parents used to tell you do the crime, you do the time. Like, it's as simple as that. Don't try to squeak your way out because, you know, niggas in prison, now that you was woofing and talking all that shit, it's niggas in prison waiting on you. Like, just some hoe shit to me.
That's the best way to summarize it.
Yeah,
That's
bro, my
some
energy
hoe
is
shit.
zapped talking about this dude, bro.
That's some whole shit by that dude. And once again, man, I think the theme for this one, or just like the thing we should focus on, is Bobby Shmurda home.
Yes,
He
sir.
free. damn near all of their crew, the whole GS9. A couple of them, it's like a few left that's still locked up, but a lot of them did their time. You know, they free now. Thankful for, Fetty. I'm blanking on Fabio. Like all of them who kept it real, held the movement down for them. So right now they out and they able to
Brooklyn,
boss up.
Brooklyn is on fire,
They on
bro.
the
They
map.
to me, they're so original, which is what I appreciate. Like they lingo, dancing, style,
Facts.
content. It's all fresh, and that's what I appreciate the most.
Viral.
Yeah, you know
Bow.
what I'm saying. When Fabio started doing that, bro, I remember first time I seen a Fabio video, I'm like, okay, this is a hit
This is
because
it.
it's different.
Movie.
Yeah, like you said, they talking about drilling shit, but it's not. It's different from the Chicago shit in the sense that the Chicago shit was serious, bro. Like I remember when Herb did his computers, like that shit was serious, bro. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, like they added like the little sauce and the woo walking and all that to it. But something I want to ask you before we wrap this up is, I love music, so I want to get your opinion on this. The type of music Bobby's gonna make, do you think it should be drill esque, like the way Pop and them was doing it, or should he kind of branch off and get away from that?
Whatever parts of his story that he want to talk about, whether it's them old days when he was actually doing it or what he was facing while he was, incarcerated.
Yeah, that's gonna be major. Yep.
Or if he want to get on that luxury music, get on that Meek, get on that Rick Ross, get on that Nipsey and speak to, how I'm about bigger and better now. I'm worth such and such. Like, I'll be fine with it. As long as it's real.
Yep.
As long as he telling that real story, like, I'm cool with it. The biggest thing for me be like, I understand music and all of that has a huge effect on the culture. But at the end of the day, it's about your ability to know right or wrong. To know that these guys is telling their story, not my story. I don't have to go act, and go drill today because I just heard Bobby, who just got out, whose life was supposed to be changed, but he's still rapping about getting down on somebody. Like, that shouldn't be you because that's him.
That's beautifully said, bro.
So
Beautifully said.
appreciate that.
I agree with that 1,000%. I think Bobby's really talented. I think Bobby is a breath of fresh air. I think he has, when he came out, he was so young, like, and I think now he's probably still in his early 20s.
Yeah.
So he has a lot to talk about. I just feel like, we can wrap it up with this. I feel like the drill sound, I think he should let Fabio and them run with that shit. And I think he should come and just, reinvent his sound.
Facts.
Because, like, there's just so many people adopting the drill wave. And, like, now I think him doing time, like, I just seen something about him talk about, getting into real estate because he's been in jail and he's been reading and educating himself. To me, now the gap is a lot bigger. And like you said, like, don't bring yourself down there. Like, you above that now. Like, you seen kind of where that shit got you. You're educated now. Speak on the real, but also understand, like, where you are now. Like, you probably look back and be like, man, I was young. I know you seen the video when he was at Epic doing the computer shit. Nigga sliding across the table.
Across the table, yeah.
I think that part of Bobby is dead now. I think now it's like the mature, like, let me be on some boss shit. So,
facts.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Bobby.
Shout out to Bobby. Free
Shout
the
out
real,
to Rowdy,
man.
too.
All the real is free. But yeah, man. Free the real.
All-Star Game 2021. Where would you like to begin, man? How do you feel about, the NBA basically reducing the weekend to one day in Atlanta? I think I seen some shit where it was like, they gonna do the dunk contest at halftime, bro. Which is the wackest shit I ever heard in my life.
I think, hey, man, it's all about the dollar, right?
Like I asked you before, bro, if you got tickets to go, would you go at the end of the day?
Damn near.
Yeah, you pulling up, bro.
Yeah.
I know. I would too.
Just because at the end of the day, that's a staple for the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we all look forward to the best of the best being able to play on the same team because we all have this, when we watching them play, we like, yo, could you imagine if, like, KD, Bron, and Kyrie all
Yeah.
teamed up on the same team, like what that would do. So like this brings our fantasies to life for a little bit. So it is.
Facts.
I'm in support of them playing the game, just as long as like the health protocols are all followed. Because what team was it? Just recently, the Raptors didn't have any of their coaches because they all had to, follow protocol. And it's like
they fucking in Florida, bro. They moved their practice facility to Florida for the year, so I know they out and about. Florida's open.
It's open.
Florida's open. So
just like Atlanta. So I think I seen that what is that page on Instagram? Justin LA boy or whatever.
I think I've heard of that page. Yeah.
And he said, "Fuck, I forgot what he said." But he just been out. Oh, he was like, "I'm from Atlanta. I don't know what the virus is," or something like that. He made a post, a post like that or something. And these places that are open is if it's open, it's hard for you to say, all right, I'm gonna be like masked up all day, every day. I'm gonna stay my ass in the crib. Especially when you got them Bucks.
What happened to Lou Will, bro?
Man,
and you telling me you bringing, man? Come on, man.
Hey,
man, come on, bro.
And little disclaimer: the little stripper girl who snitched on him was actually in a few Sincerely Richard fashion shows. So she's wild. Like we know about you, shorty.
Call him out. Call him out. Call him out. Call
you know
him
what
out,
I'm saying? But nah, she did come out and apologize and say like I didn't expect for that to blow up like that. I was just trying to say like, dude, do tip well. You know what I'm saying?
You got it too. So
right?
For sure.
But bro, love his wings. All of that to say, all of that to say, man, as long as, the health and safety protocols are followed, and these guys already have to give up a lot, to play the game of basketball. And they made the choice that they wanted to play this season and compete and go to work every day. So I kind of feel as if it's the NBA's responsibility to make sure that they're safe. If all they care about is their dollar. How you feel about it?
My boy KD, the greatest player on the world, on the planet, in my opinion. I know niggas hate KD, he's a snake, he went and joined, but can't nobody check this nigga, period.
At all.
KD is smart because I think KD is perfectly healthy. He's just like, no, I'm not doing this shit. Like y'all can't calm me into playing for y'all. But overall, I think, if we're already doing a quick turnaround for the season, forcing NBA players to rush back after basically being in Orlando in the bubble, I believe that weekend should have been for the players. You know what I'm saying? At least give them that benefit. Like, they sacrifice a lot. Mm-hmm. They sacrifice a lot, and now you're kind of putting them in a predicament where, one, they're exposed to coronavirus. Two, you're not giving them time to really rest or recover. And again, to your point, you're putting the dollar over the player. Like, yep. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. And I know they say All-Star Weekend is like one of the biggest money-generating things for the NBA in terms of cash flow and exposure. And then you also know, like, Atlanta, basically all the rappers live in Atlanta. Man. Some of your favorite rappers live in Atlanta. The Baby live in Atlanta. Dirk live in Atlanta. Pooh Shiesty's in Atlanta. Gucci's in Atlanta. Jeezy's in Atlanta.
Can't forget the GOAT, Thug in Atlanta.
Thug in that. Baby is in Atlanta. So it's so much money. The club host is going to be crazy, bro. Man. I see somebody was like, they're going to put Adam Silver's face on a promotion on the flyer. I could see that shit happening, bro. I could see that shit happening. It's probably going to be fucking Adam Silver Ruts in Atlanta, too,
I'm dead.
Bro. You know
Adam Silver Ruts.
Bro, you know that
Who
shit.
Got the Silver Ruts?
You know that
60
shit.
60 and KD.
You feel me? You know that shit coming, but
no, I gotta be it's KD's only All-Star Weekend. that pack. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
It is what it is at this point. I think, like you said, you kind of signed up for it. It's a part of being in the league. I guess when you're making multi-millions, you really don't have a lot of room to complain. But I feel for the players. I'm biased because basketball is my obsession. Like, I love basketball to death. And like you said, like, I want to see my nigga Dame play. That's my guy. Like, I want to see Dame play. Luka shouldn't be starting over him, but that's a whole nother subject. I want to see Dame. I want to see Bron. I want to see Steph. I want to see the Bradley Beals of the world.
On that note, how do you feel about CP making it
Over Book?
over Book? Even though Book's in there now, but as a
Yeah,
reserve.
for sure. I think I watched The Jump, and I forget, maybe it was Robert Ory, but they said something that kind of made me understand. Book really hasn't changed his game, if we be honest. Like, they're just winning now. But that's
Facts.
because Chris Paul is there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The bubble, they was showing out in the bubble, but when CP got in there, bro, they sit in fourth, maybe fifth in the West. Like that, to me, like I guess an all-star probably isn't always in the numbers, but maybe in the effect. So having it's like basically putting LeBron on your team. To me, it's like you putting LeBron on your team, the whole culture has changed to like it's niggas I'm seeing. What's my man? That's the 3 for him. He went to fucking Villanova. But nah, this nigga shooting threes like he Klay Thompson, bro. Cause CP's put in the battery in their back to really to hoop. Like DeAndre Ayton, bro, last season, popcorn. This season, you know what I'm saying? You put him in the post, whoever guarding him is, like Shaq said, barbecue chicken. Like ain't shit you can really, you know what I'm saying? So I think when we look at numbers, hell no, CP3 shouldn't be in there.
Man.
But in terms of like impact, Luka, so. I'm gonna fuck it since we on it. Luka should not be starting over Dame. I'm still not sold on Luka's game. Like he's a bucket, and I didn't know Luka's basically built like Bron.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish. I was about to say
250 point guard.
But the difference,
stop it.
The difference between Luka and like Bron is he doesn't have like athleticism.
Not at all.
I'm saying, and like
you ever seen Luka dunk?
A few times.
I never seen this man dunk, bro.
And that's the crazy part, because yes, he has the IQ. Like he's been playing with grown men for years.
Stupid IQ.
He can get to his spots and all of that. But I kind of feel like give it like 5 or so years, he's just gonna be your average Joe. Just because like he doesn't have that athleticism. He doesn't have like that. He's not super quick or super fast, so he won't be able to like always beat you to the spots. He knows how to get there, but I kind of feel like we're seeing a new wave of basketball players where athleticism is through the roof. Like players are jumping higher and higher. They're running faster and faster.
You see these shorties in high school, bro?
Bro, it's insane.
I remember when I seen before, who was it? Cassius Stanley in high school.
Man. Dude was.
I said, I'm done hooping, boy.
East Band from the 3-point line.
I'm done hooping, bro. I don't know what they feeding these kids now, bro, but these kids is ridiculous. Crazy.
So all of that to say, if you not matching that athleticism, or if you weren't born super athletic, it's going to be hard for you to sustain in the league. I think like the average NBA player is there for 4 to 6 years. You know
like in NBA?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
short. The average player is there for 4 to 6 years. If you're there for anything longer, you're like
you like one of them guys.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be interested to see where Luka ends up like after that. He is Team Jordan, so MJ must see something in him.
I can't hate on Luka, bro. His game is I guess it's something I'm not accustomed to seeing. Maybe it's like the hezzies and the movement. Like he be tapping motherfuckers, but it's not like it just don't. It's probably the European part of it. It's like a dance. Like He just shift you. Just shift your ass this way. Shift your ass this way. Step back. Hezzy pull. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of game. But I'm a counter your point and say I think his lack of athleticism is gonna help him stay in the league because. A lot of people, like even D Rose with Pooh, when Pooh came in the game, bro, he flying, he acrobatic, and then towards ACL, towards knee up. Luka, if he could just stay to the ground and just hone in on just creating shots and getting in the spots and just use the IQ, kind of like CP, like longevity in that. But he's a great player.
6'8", 250.
A point guard, bro.
You can't beat that. I mean, I think it was I was just listening to an episode of All the Smoke. I can't remember who it was.
Shout out to Matt Barnes and Jack.
Yeah, you feel me? I can't remember who they was interviewing, but they asked them who was like the toughest person, you guarded and they said Magic Johnson because Magic
That's unfair,
Johnson
bro.
used to like bring the ball up court and just smile at you because he knew that he could see over you. You know,
Bro,
like
that
dude was
is
6'8". You know what I'm saying? Like,
disgusting.
right. So it's like when you have that advantage as a point guard, the game is just so much easier for you because you already can see the entire floor.
That's a
You
fact.
know? And it's just a matter of being able to get people the ball in the right spots and at the right time, and then figure out how you're gonna get your bucket. So I'm not hating on Luka at all. The kid's talented.
He is 22,
Yeah.
21, 22, so
The kid's talented. I mean, but we'll see.
we'll see.
I feel like the NBA is really, really going to a league of just more athleticism over anything. And that's just why I'm skeptical about players who kind of lack it and move at their own pace.
The one thing I will say, we can wrap this up, bro, not to bore y'all with a lot of NBA talk, but obviously we could tell we love basketball.
You feel me?
It's just something I want to bring up. I don't know if you saw this, bro. Denver was playing some team, bro, and they had a chance to tie the game. It's who is this? Jamal Murray coming down with the ball. It's their little point guard now, Campazzo, and Michael Porter Jr., and then their point guard, another point guard. Bro, it's a 4-on-1 fast break, G. It's a 4-on-1 fast break. And Jamal Murray, they're all running against one defender. Jamal Murray stops at the three-point line. And his teammates all stop at the three. So the whole paint is
crazy.
Bro, and that's one thing I hate about the NBA now. Like, it's really repetitive with shit. It's like threes and layups.
That's it. That's all.
And that's why I appreciate niggas like CJ. Like, CJ McCollum is a dog. Like,
man,
when they come into town, I always go see Portland play because I'm a fan of him and Dame. But I just hate the way the NBA is now. It's like a lot of switching, a lot of layups, a lot of it's just me and you. You on an island. I'm going to dog you and I'm going to get a bucket. Now it's not like that. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to settle for the three. Maybe it's the analytics Twitter now. Like they say, like the nerd statisticians now where stats is everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Steph kind of, I wouldn't say ruined it, but he kind of made people more comfortable with taking threes. And Steph is not afraid of it too. But I don't know. I'm going to stop rambling about it. It's just shit like that be annoying.
7-footers like Embiid rather to shoot a three than be in the post. But like you said, we don't want to bore y'all with this basketball talk.
We out of here. We out of here.
Man, you know we always talk about Chicago. It's been a topic for the last year, especially with Lori being our mayor. But something I found super interesting was the fact that I was reading an article and the headline was like Chicago tops the list for like most corrupt cities. And
are you surprised, my brother?
I'm not.
Are you shocked?
I'm
Are you surprised?
This is a city ran by the mafia dating all the way back to Al Capone and like all the Italians and all of that. And it ain't getting no better, but it's just crazy to see that. I think you just said it when we were talking about sports. It's a cycle, you know what I'm saying? Like an revolving cycle. Like the stuff it's sad that no real change has come about. Chicago used to be one of the best cities, considered like the melting pot for all different types of ethnicities and races to come and kind of be free. But we know that's not the case. Like you have areas dedicated to Asians, areas dedicated to Hispanics, Polish, Black people, and it's like segregated.
Most segregated city. I haven't been everywhere, but I can honestly say Chicago, like, I remember my sister, one piece of advice, like growing up in the city, my sister used to always tell me, because, you know, we used to move around a lot. Oh, let me go hang out here. She was like, if you don't know nobody over there, don't go. Don't go. And I took that shit to heart. Unless I'm on a bus I'm going somewhere to pick up some shit and leave, like you won't see me walking around on any blocks because it's so segregated. Like people, like even being in a Latin neighborhood, like, you know, this growing up, niggas look at you GD, just
immediately off bat,
like, bro. I don't even know you, bro.
Off
you
bat.
Know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like
niggas staring at you, throwing up all types of shit. I'm like, bro, I just go to school.
You feel me? Black people, Hispanic people, like shit is crazy, and it forces you to walk around like, you know what I'm saying?
Edge.
Yeah, like something I used to always say is like, as soon as I step out the door, I'm a target.
Yep.
I'm a target from people that look like me.
Yep.
I'm a target from people that don't look like me. Like it's like you constantly like life or death as soon as you walk out the door, and it's not a healthy thing. But just to loop back into the whole corruption shit. This ain't brand new, bro. Like fucking Blagojevich trying to sell a Senate seat to my man's ass to JP, bro.
Yeah.
JP is the richest governor in the history of the U.S., bro. You don't need to buy no Senate seat. Like he funded Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Man.
Like he's basically almost a billionaire, bro. Like he's rich as fuck.
Look into his family. I'm pretty sure
Rich as a motherfucker, bro. Stupid rich, and even Jesse Jackson's son did time for I guess appropriate. Like this isn't surprising to me, bro. This city is a shit show at the end of the day when it comes to politics. I don't know if you've seen somebody from Ignatius actually that went to Ignatius.
Oh.
Yeah, he was doing some shiesty shit under Mike Madigan. Yeah,
he was what was it? In a matter of like 3 days, he was replacing Madigan, and then he resigned or whatever.
Yeah, he was supposed to get a check for the month, and he had to turn that shit down because he was a goofy. So I'm not surprised, bro.
I'm not. I think I more so just be saddened by a lot of the facts. Just because it's like it, but until you actually like see it, you like, damn. Like I gave the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like from like it's just messed up. We're most corrupt city. We got like most murders from time to time. Most segregated, and I don't know, dog. It sucks. Whenever you go out of town and you meet somebody from out of town, they'd be like, "Oh, you're from Chicago, like Chirac." You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
And that stuff be sad, bro. Like I just hate the narrative of a place that I love so much. A place that we all know has nothing but beauty to it, if we want to be completely honest. But it's just based in corruption.
I think growing up as kids, like before we became teenagers, we saw the beauty in the city.
That's facts.
And then once you get older, like I just remember growing up, going to the Boys and Girls Club. Like you basically lived on Wilson or you lived on Lawrence or those streets and those surrounding areas. You know what I'm saying? And everybody used to go to the same gyms and shit. Everybody used to hoop, and then it's like once you turn 13 and 14, then you gotta pick sides. You know what I'm saying? And it's shit like that make me sad, but also makes me love the city too. It's weird. It's like you've been through it, so it kind of like you get an appreciation for it. I feel like everybody kind of goes through that initiation process, but once you get older and you kind of see the fuck shit that happens in the city, it makes you sad for real. It's like, damn, like how come I couldn't come up in the suburbs like not come up, but like have a lifestyle like some of my suburban homies were. You know what I'm saying? You get off the train, you're not having to look all around you to figure out where you're going and see who following you and this shit. Like it's just it's a beautiful struggle almost. It's like I appreciate that shit, but we all have PTSD from that shit. Like,
bro,
crazy.
Random, I don't know if it's a piggyback, a segue or whatever, but just to the points of like where we grow up in our neighborhoods and things of that nature, I just think about the fact that every neighborhood that I essentially grew up in was like more or less primarily black. You know what I'm saying? And then when I think about that and expand upon it, I think about the fact that I didn't know the differences between like smoothies and like milkshakes and shit until I got to like high school, because in the hood or like where we grew up at, you don't have places that have those types of things. Like we ain't had no Potbelly to actually have like a milkshake or have a smoothie. Like we had the corner stores where you're going to go grab you a 50-cent juice, a bag of chips, and maybe a honey bun. And then aside from that, you just going to the crib and eating whatever your OG cooked. So it's like when you hear things like the corruption and that the dollars ain't going to where they supposed to go, I can sit back and just think about how that truly affected me growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's lots of stuff that I didn't have because funds was put elsewhere. Like Lori Lightfoot allocating COVID funds to fucking police.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff right there is sick. Knowing that you know, there's cases of students who are going through abuse at the crib and can't even focus on school. They don't have
That's a
anywhere else
fact.
to go. You know what I'm saying? But we rather, oh, the police have to do a random check into somebody's house. Let me give them some OT money. Like, nah, G, that shit don't work. Like, it's not solving solutions. And we're continuing to just repeat these cycles of messed upness. And when do we get out of it?
Bro, to the point about like smoothies and milkshakes and shit, like I always say this too. I remember when I went to St. Thomas's Catholic school up until the 4th grade, and I went to CPS for 2 years. I went to McCutcheon, I went to Gillespie on the south side, 5th and 6th grade. I remember, bro, for breakfast, niggas used to be at the gas station, bro, eating honey buns, zebra cakes, crunchy curls, you know what I'm saying, drinking for breakfast.
Fact.
Super, oh, the best. You put a super donut in the microwave,
Man.
bro. That should make you cry. But just thinking about that, like, I would never have my kids eat that shit, bro. Never in my life. Like for breakfast, like we used to be at the gas station, like you know what I'm saying, trying to eat Cheetos. Like that is the worst shit you
Ever.
could possibly put in. Not having enough resources. Like the
Mhm.
gas station was fucking our grocery store. Like why are we living like that? Like why are we eating this shit? And it didn't hit me until we got to high school and I'm seeing kids bring their own lunch to school and kids eating celery and shit. Boy, I never ate celery in my life
Period.
until I got to Ignatius. Like it's a lot of work, and hopefully if I do have kids, I definitely want to put them on to all the bad shit we was eating, but I'm not having my kids eat fucking crunchy curls for breakfast, bro. That shit is terrible for you.
Yeah, man. It's the cycle.
It's a cycle, man. It
It's a cycle.
sucks. It sucks, but it kind of made us who we are.
Yeah. It's a blessing.
Yep.
It's a blessing in disguise. It's a blessing in disguise, and I'm thankful that we are at the places that we are at right now.
That's a fact. A
And
lot of people we know haven't made it this far, man, especially African American folks. So,
and our ability to come together right now and do this podcast and
facts.
speak to everyone about our experiences. Let everyone know that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? We all have experienced this in some capacity, some level, some form. And I think if you hear that you're not alone, it'll make you want to reach out to other people and try to make a difference.
Mhm.
Or, like now that you hear stuff like this, maybe if you see another coat drive or something around, you'll actually go donate a coat. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason Chicago's on this corrupt list, and they're not going to do anything to change it. And I repeat this every single time, but we have to be the change we want to see.
That's a fact.
You have to be like intrinsically motivated to want to make a difference. If you don't, like, we're going to continue to have segregated neighborhoods. We're going to continue to eat hot, crunchy curls for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to continue to be messed up, man. And that shit not cool.
I agree 3,000% with that. I think coming together is important. I know, I wasn't really a big volunteer guy. I'm trying to do that more in 2021, but I know when the looting and shit happened, I went to a jewel on, I want to say 70 something in Stony, right across the street from the temple, and helped clean up a jewel. And just seeing that many people of color coming together, bro, like that shit was cool. Yeah, that shit's dope. And I think, our biggest hurdle as Black Americans is distractions.
Facts.
I think there are purposely things put in front of us to kind of subdue our brains. And it takes like George Floyd to happen for shit to click.
Mm-hmm.
But then time passes and you get dulled out. And I think even with LeBron, like LeBron more than a vote, like we need to make shit like that cool. We need to make, like, it shouldn't take some, like the Nipsey shit. When Nipsey died, bro, and they had all the gangs in LA come together, they had the 60s coming together with the Hoovers, with, all just a different type of feuding gangs.
Even the ones who was beef, yeah.
Yeah, like it shouldn't take death. It should take knowledge to be like, yo, why are we, granted, like there's obviously shit, that, kind of perpetrated, gangs beefing and shit like that. But it shouldn't take somebody to die for people to click.
Facts.
Like we should just realize where we are right now. Like, yo, why are we beefing? How come we not buying real estate together? How come we not getting money together? How come instead of us putting shorties in the line of fire, why don't we try to put them on game? Like, bro, go to practice, my nigga. Go to practice.
Yeah.
Do your homework. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we still got you on the block, but if we know that's not for you, that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Let's not like they say crabs in a barrel. I don't think people intentionally pull other people down. I think it's just a product of your environment. So it's not like I'm trying to pull you down, but shit, this is the only way we gonna eat. We gonna gangbang, we gonna hustle, blah blah blah. But I think we need to make shit like that cool, where it's like let's educate the youth. Like, shorty, this ain't for you. Don't do that. You're not a gangbanger, bro. Go to school. And granted, like I had a big brother and big sister and a strong family support system, you know, because Africans don't play like
At all.
my dad was not about that shit, bro, at all. So, you know, I always had that kind of barrier, but, you know, we had people that we knew that was a part of that. But we just need to overall make it cool to be smart. Like, make it cool to come together. It's not always about this person's an op and I'm finessing this person, I'm robbing this person, let me run off on the plug. That shit not cool. That shit whack to me, to be honest. It's whack. Like, let's come together and big up each other and put people on and let me help my mans out and let me support your business and, you know what I'm saying, the X, Y's, and Z's. So 2021, man, let's big each other up, bro. Let's come together and love each other, man. Like, I think that's the theme of 2021.
And on that note, that's a great way to end this joint. Let's be great. Let's love each other.
Gang.
It's my big brother.
Sir.
It's another episode of Not Your Typical Booty Scratchers. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Gang.
Gang, gang.